What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna look at a different kind of zodiac. This one in particular being sort of the most easy to ease into, if the only ones you know are the Chinese zodiac and your star signs. Because this one actually is just working off a different type of star sign, like a different method of calculating star sign you are. We are looking at the sidereal astrology, and in particular the Vedic zodiac. Uses the exact same signs, the exact same 12, it just counts them differently. And I will read you this. The link will be down below, as well as a couple other links. I'll explain what those are in a second. But let's get into this bit first. So this particular article opens up in sort of a conversational way by asking the question, have you ever looked at your horoscope and not resonated with a single thing it said about your zodiac sign? Vedic astrology might give you the accurate reading that you've been searching for. Most common zodiac readings only use Western astrology, which, even though it's not wrong, is not the most accurate way of reading birth charts. Vedic astrology is also known as Indian astrology, Hindu astrology, or Jyotisha, which just means science of light, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This practice observes the celestial bodies that reflect their energy and light upon the earth, therefore influencing the course of human life. It tends to be more future focused than Western astrology, which is more here and now. The biggest switch up, and the reason why many people think Vedic astrology is more accurate, is that, as I said, it uses sidereal zodiac. So Western astrology became the Greeks and Babylonians I love you 3,000 years ago. And it was believed that the constellations and the zodiac signs associated with them were fixed in place in relation to the Earth, which is obviously not the case, as we all know now, because we have ascendant signs. But they sort of thought that and I mean, it's not true. The stars are sort of fixed in place, being that they're stars, and the Earth just sort of moves through them, and that's why we get ascendants and whatnot. But there's a little bit more to it than that. The Earth is actually on a skewed axis, which means that in relation to the Sun, it does not tilt. It just stays on that skewed axis. And if that's an inaccurate way of putting it, then it travels diagonally. If you want them to both be upright, it travels diagonally up and down. And so as a result of that, sign placements have moved quite a bit in the last 3,000 years to a total of 24 degrees, which, in case you are unaware, essentially we're looking at 365 days in a year and 360 degrees in a full rotation. So 24 degrees is about as many days. So almost a full sign. We're almost to the point where if you're born as a Pisces in Western astrology, then you'd be an Aries. No, incorrect. You would be an Aquarius in Vedic astrology, almost to the point where it's like guaranteed. At the moment, there's still like 5 days where your signs can be both, and those 5 days are generally the 5 days between sort of the 17th and the 21st, 22nd is sort of where those gaps still sort of sit. Vedic astrology uses a fixed map and detailed mathematical equation to account for the difference in the axis. We get into a bit of that there. It says Vedic astrology might be the older of the two practices. The earliest writings are found in the Vedas, which are ancient Hindu spiritual texts that are between 5,000 and 8,000 years old, and obviously where we get the idea for Vedic astrology coming from the Vedas themselves, but it also makes them the oldest books in existence. However, being that old doesn't mean they're not up to speed with astronomical developments. Science and pseudoscience aside, all you really need to know is that the zodiac sign you were born with based on your birth time, and birth time is important. All birth charts will ask you for it, because things like Mercury, which only takes 83 Earth days to do a full rotation of the sun, its year is only like 83 days long, and then something like Pluto can spend 30 years in one particular star sign as we view it from Earth. So it's not it's kind of important to know your exact birth time for your birth charts. But yeah, the sign you thought that you were could be wrong. Generally is, at the moment, 80% of the time. So it could also mean that if you've been basing your dating life off of only going for particular signs, 80% of the time you've probably chosen the wrong people that were completely incompatible with you, as opposed to actually finding the people that actually have compatible signs with you. So yeah, Vedic astrology sign dates readjust from time to time, shifting 1 degree every 72 years. But for now, it looks a little like this. Aries is actually called Mesha in Vedic astrology, and it is currently from April 14th to May 14th. So under this, we're not actually even in Aries at the moment. So if you're sitting there being like, I'm an Aries, you're actually a Pisces. And if that doesn't help you come to a little bit of a realization about yourself, when you've been trying to be like relating to all of these Aries qualities that just aren't you, start looking up Pisces qualities, and if you start relating to a lot more of them, you now know why. But if you are under this, an Aries, being that this sign is ruled by Mars, your ferocity is practically doubled. You're not one to mess with, but at the same time, all of this power makes you a natural born leader. You might be sitting there thinking you're a Taurus, but knowing full well that you are a natural born leader, it's actually because you're an Aries. There is more to that. Like I said, this is down below. I'm just going to try and breeze through these bits. So Taurus is actually called Vrisha, and it's obviously from May 15th to June 14th. So if you fall under those dates for your birthday, you are determined and you have determined. Let's start that again. You have a determined and stubborn personality that stops at nothing to achieve the things that you want. You have great power within your relationships and can withstand especially trying times. You sort of have the strength of a bull. Gemini is actually called Mithuna, and its dates are June 15th to July 14th. If you fall within those dates, you are because your sign's sort of ruled by Mercury, the messenger god, your communication skills are on point. They're easy to talk to and can always fill in any awkward spots when you're meeting new people. Cancer is called Kaka, which is interesting to note that it's called Kaka. These came from anywhere between 5,000 to 8,000 year old texts, and in ancient Greece, the crab that Cancer is based on was sort of like a minion sort of thing of Hera's, and it was called Karkanos. So the similarities in name here is duly noted, and I find, especially for this one, pretty interesting. Its dates are July 15th to August 16th, and if that is you, then you are very consistent and you're a reliable person. You're incredibly in touch with your emotions and avidly share your sensitivity with others. You're also ruled by the moon. I was reading this bit that I was reading when I wasn't speaking. You're ruled by the moon, which is the one of the only two planetary beings, celestial objects, that doesn't enter a retrograde. Making pretty special. Sun in Leo, or Simha, which obviously brings to mind a certain Lion King. We're talking about Leo, so there you are. One of the inspirations for why his name was Simba. And its dates are August 16th to September 15th. You're definitely someone others should not mess with. You're an aggressive leader that always aims to end up in first place. You have the most courage and bravery of all the signs, and it's probably why a lion is the symbol for Gryffindor. Virgo, or Kanya, sounds very sort of similar to the name Vanya, who we now all know as the White Violin from Umbrella Academy, but also spelled very similar to the country Kenya as well. Its dates are September 16th to October 16th, which puts me in this category. So if you fit in with me in this sign, you love to learn and find schooling to be a natural talent of yours. You're very articulate and a great public speaker. The second paragraph there does not, at least the first sentence of it does not relate. I don't relate. It says, entertaining crowds comes naturally to you. Yeah, sure. But stage fright? Who? No. That's no. Sun in Libra. Tula is what Libra is called in Vedic. And it goes from October 17th to November 14th. That's incorrect, but cool. It says here, with the sun being the masculine planet with a fire element and Libra being feminine energy because it's ruled by Venus. Okay, with an air element, you may often find yourself in the middle of inner turmoil or struggle. We're represented by the scales. This is my Western sign. Under the Western zodiac, I'm a Libra. We're represented by the scales. Of course, there's two opposing forces trying to find inner balance. It's kind of our thing. Your sign fuels the fire of the sign, but at what cost? The dominating and contrasting energies can make you selfish, inconsistent, and unloyal. Decision making is one of your greatest weaknesses. Scream it louder for the ones at the back. Scorpio is called Vrishika, and it goes from November 15th to December 15th. You're a mysterious and intriguing personality. With great emotional depth, you have the power to be almost like you have the power to be almost like a psychic influence over others if you harness your compassionate side. I actually have a lot of, and we will look at this in a second, but I actually have a lot of Scorpio in my Western astrology birth chart. And I have found that I can, yes, access some empathic abilities, which is always a lot of fun. Sagittarius, or Danu, is December 16th to January 13th. And essentially that means that Sagittarius now has Christmas instead of Capricorn. You are fortunate to find most of your life to come easily. What's that like? You have a compassion that's unmatched for the people you care about. Can relate there. Capricorn is called Makara, and it goes from January 14th to February 13th. You are a very serious and devoted person. You're careful when embarking on new adventures and like to think out the moves in full before you make them. And you are also incredibly patient. Aquarius, or Kumbha, from Valentine's Day to, I think it's called White Day, Feb 14 to March 14. White Day, essentially, I think I did a video on it, but essentially it's when I think men are supposed to return the affections of the woman, or the woman, the man, or whatever. Basically, if Valentine's Day is when the women are supposed to make the move, on White Day the men are supposed to return that affection, or not. Either way, if you fit within Feb 14 to March 14, you are and I'm going to read this word for word, hot tamale ready to pop off at a moment's notice. Yeah, like I said, links below. You can fact check me on this. That's actually what it says. Your brain is wired a different way than the other signs. People are often drawn to your eccentric ideas and contemplative thoughts. And then last but not least is Pisces, always the last of the group. But you know what they say? Nice guys finish last, saving the best for last. March 15th to April 15th, either way. And the Vedic name for you is Meena, M-E-E-N-A. You're very friendly, which likely makes you be part of the most popular demographic in mixed crowds. You're highly adaptable, trust your instincts in unfamiliar territory. You're also just generally seen as sort of the emotional pitch of the group, but you've actually got that shit on lock. You know what you're doing, and it can be a little intimidating if you know what you're doing. You are led by your heart a lot, but you are very adaptable at things. curveball can come your way and you're able to just roll with the punches, and I don't know what that's like, so it's intimidating to me. Alright, so pull up my co-star astrology birth chart. Scroll all the way back up to the top. Okay, so what we've got here is my sun sign being a Libra. We already know, having read what we've read, that my sun sign in Vedic astrology is a Virgo. So we got one that's incorrect there. My ascendant sign is a Sagittarius. Sidereal astrology, my ascendant is also a Sagittarius. So either way, that is correct. That stays the same. We ended up in that 5-day space for that one. My moon sign is a Virgo, and like we said, 80% of the time it changes. My moon sign, however, stays the same. So far only of my major 3, only my sun sign changes. If we then look at our planets though, I can already tell you, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. Let's look at those, because my Vedic ones, they're all Libra. So, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter wasn't it? Scorpio, and Scorpio. Like I said, a lot of Scorpio energy there. And these are the other 2 links that will be down below for birth charts. So you can go and have a look yourself at what signs actually change on your birth charts. If you don't want to use the link I've sent for finding out your sidereal chart, you can just search up sidereal and go that way. Alright, what else have we got? Let's have a look at Uranus and Neptune. On the Vedic, they are both Sagittarius. On my Western, they are both Capricorns. And then the last 3 that we've got are a Mars, a Saturn, and a Pluto. My Mars in the sidereal is a Cancer, my Saturn's an Aquarius, and my Pluto is a Scorpio. Let's have a look here. So Mars, we want Cancer. Mars is Cancer. That stays the same. Saturn's Aquarius. Saturn is a Pisces on my Western, so that one changes. And then the last but not least was the Pluto, wasn't it? And on both accounts there, that one's also Scorpio. So according to Western, the Western astrology, I've got 4 planets in Scorpio. A lot of Scorpio energy. And yeah, always fun to look at. But yeah, that's me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope it was interesting and informative. If you enjoyed it, also while you're here, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world, but appreciate it. And also ring that bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. Links below, go and check it out. Go read the full little blurbs and stuff. Check out your birth charts, etc. Comment down below which of your signs changed in your birth chart and which ones stayed the same. Would be very interested to find out what new things you sort of discovered about yourself. I think it'd be very interesting. But yeah, until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.